What's up, guys? It's Andrew here from Pickswise. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be putting our same game parlays into video form. Same game parlays, of course, are a bit of a new offering from some sports books. FanDuel, you're seeing them at many shops nowadays. You can correlate a parlay, stack a parlay with several props and bets within one game. You can often correlate things together, plays that if one of them cashes, a couple of the other ones are more likely to cash as well, get you a huge payout still. Today we're talking about one for the Colts-Raiders game in the afternoon window. It started off, it's a four-teamer with odds of around, it's a four-parter with around 28-1 odds. Going to start off with the Colts minus 5.5 on the alternate spread. I like the Colts a lot here. I think if you're willing to lay the 3 with them, which is what the spread is currently, I think there's not much of an issue laying 5.5. I think they're going to win this one by a touchdown or more easily. The Colts are not getting much credit from anybody. They haven't been in many nationally televised games or anything like that, but they've been playing really well. They're 8-3 over their last 11 games. The 3 losses in that span came to the Browns, the Titans, and the Ravens. 3 really solid teams. They've also beaten the Titans, beaten the Packers in that span. I think they're a lot better than most people are giving them credit for. Meanwhile, I like this spot to fade the Raiders, coming off the Las Vegas' obviously thrilling last-second finish against the Jets. They scored on that last-second play that got Greg Williams fired this past week when he, for some reason, ran a cover 0 blitz. But I digress. The Raiders were fortunate just to beat the winless Jets in that game. I often think there's value fading teams coming off a last-second emotional win like that. We did that a few weeks ago after the Cardinals got their Hail Mary to beat the Bills walk-off fashion. We faded them the next week. They came out a little bit flat. It's often what happens with teams the week following these last-second wins. So I like the Colts to win this one big. That correlates well with the second part of this, which is Jonathan Taylor over 56.5 rushing yards. He has at least 90 rushing yards in each of his past 2 games. I don't see why anyone would expect them to dramatically scale back his workload or for him to dramatically fall off here in what's a good matchup against the Raiders' rush defense that allows 4.5 yards per carry. That's towards the bottom of the league. Taylor's done way more than this each of the last 2 weeks. And it correlates nicely with the Colts winning this game comfortably. If the Colts are winning this game by at least a touchdown, that means they're going to be looking to kill clock in the second half and running the ball a lot with Taylor. Brings us into our next play, which is the over on Derek Carr, 248.5. Taking the over on the quarterback that you think is going to lose the game's passing yards often correlates with betting the other team, because if the Colts are winning, that means the Raiders are going to have to be playing catch-up in the second half and throwing the ball a ton. 248.5 is pretty low here. Carr had 381 passing yards last week, granted against the Jets, but still. And I don't think the Raiders are going to have much success running the ball here. This is Josh Jacobs' first game back from an injury. I don't think he's going to be 100%, and nobody's going to have much success running into this Colts defensive line with DeForest Buckner in the middle. This Colts team is really hard to run on. I think John Gruden's going to more or less abandon the run early on. Carr is going to be throwing a lot here, which brings us into the fourth and final leg of this parlay, which is Henry Ruggs to score a touchdown at any point throughout the game. I think it's a pretty good bet. Ruggs obviously scored a touchdown last week on that miraculous final play on the go route from Carr. I think now we can carry over some of the momentum from that game. He hadn't been as involved in the offense as we would have liked to have seen the past few weeks, but I think that play and that game, which was a big game for him, overall should get him trending in the right direction. I think Gruden will make it more of a point of emphasis to get him involved here. And this Colts, the back half of their secondary is exploitable. Cornerback Rocky Ya-Sin has got burned deep several times in recent weeks, so it wouldn't surprise me if Derek Carr and Henry Ruggs hooked up for another one of those deep ball touchdowns in this one. That's our 4-leg parlay for the Colts-Raiders game. You can get those at 28-1 odds. I certainly think this has got a better than 1 in 29 chance of cashing. I think it's a great play.